Hi everyone, I'm Naoko from the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to speak here at the session. 5 years ago, we launched the project Future Classroom, making the model case of learning innovation with EdTech venture companies, teachers, and children in Japan. Today at this session, we'd like to introduce how the Japanese government has realized learning innovation and what kind of vision we aim for in the future with two wonderful speakers from EdTech companies. Now, let's start with the first speaker from METI, Asano-san, please.
Okay, thank you for introducing me, Naoko. I'm Daisuke Asano, Director for Educational Services Industry, Ministry of Trade and Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. We call it METI. METI has started the Learning Innovation Project. This is a pilot project of a one-to-one device learning environment. We have started this project from the year of 2018. And as a first speaker today, let me share what is happening in our project and what our vision is. So this is the structure of multi-ministries cooperation in Japanese government. In the context of digital transformation in education, multiple ministries promote policy making together after GIGA School Initiative launched in the this fiscal year 2021. In the center, digital agency works, and my ministry, my team is this red circle, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. We are in charge of especially private educational service and also human resource development policy for in this fourth industrial revolution era from the corporate side. And we, METI and the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Communication, and the Council for Science, Technology and Innovation, and also Personal Information Protection Commission, these multiple agencies' collaboration start to work from this fiscal year. So actually, one-to-one device policy has started from this fiscal year 2021 in Japan. This was a kind of a revolution in Japanese education scene. But actually, this has a very long history. From the year 2017, Ministry of Education issued a new curriculum standards starting from the year of 2020. This was very. This gives a very sensational message for Japanese educational scene. The goal was independent, interactive, and in-depth learning happened and acquired for all the students. But in order to make it, we need to make a curriculum open to society, and then also all the schools had to make effort for curriculum management happen. But in order to make it, we thought that all the students and all the teachers need to have a one-to-one digital devices. But most of the Japanese schools do not have such a digital environment at that moment. So Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, METI, started this learning and innovation project, pilot project. This was pilot phase for one-to-one device environment. The concept was as a concept, we had two pillars of concept. The first one is self-driven, individually automated learning. The second one is project-based learning. We call it STEAM. The STEAM-based project-based learning was necessary for making students as a future workforce in the fourth industrial revolution era. So after 1 year from the start of the learning innovation project, we had some of the successful cases in our pilot project. And we Japanese government had started to launch the one-to-one device policy. We named it GIGA School Initiative. The central government and the local government work together to provide all the one-to-one device for all the junior high school and elementary school students. That was almost more than 9 million students. And after that, and now we are trying to provide one-to-one device for all the high school students as well. We are in the middle of the process. So after that, now we are in the process of a kind of a dissemination phase of innovative example of the pilot projects. The METI's Learning and Innovation Project, the concept has, as I mentioned, we have two pillars. The one is the self-driven, individualized learning environment. And the second one is team-based, project-based learning. I think it's this chart in this left-hand side is very, very important. The playfulness is centered in this chart. This playfulness, have the cycle of the creation and knowledge building. This cycle, this cycle moves, and also the personalized learning plans and the personalized learning log database will works this cycle smoothly. And let me share this slide. The left-hand side slide is this is a typical Japanese classroom scene settings. Teacher speaks unilaterally, and the students they passively learn standardized contents at a uniform pace in the classroom, and every student have seated in the designated seats. But please look at the right-hand side. The right-hand slide is the pictures took in our pilot project. In our pilot project, in our learning and innovation pilot project, the students have seated in the not in the designated places. The students actively learn diverse contexts at a very varied pace, and either individually or collaboratively, without having to sit in a fixed seat. So, and please see two videos. There's two videos from the from a case in a public junior high school. So this is a case from a public junior high school. This junior high school introduced AI-based digital textbook named Cubina, which was provided by Compass, some venture company in Tokyo. So next slide. Then we have another slide which is mainly the STEAM-based project-based learning scene. These two videos shows us the new style of using the use of time in the school. So the basic knowledge in the textbook can efficiently be acquired through the using EdTech, while the saved time can be made for research and project-based learning. You could see the scene of a STEAM-based learning, project-based learning using students flying drones or and using 3D printers to make something. Actually, these two videos were in the mathematics classroom. So actually, many people think that learning mathematics is sitting in some classroom and listen to what teacher says and write down the mathematics formula teacher wrote on the blackboard and recite the formula in the small test and the periodical test. So, but students enjoyed learning, personally optimized learning, using iPad and Cubina. At the same time, using the saved time, they enjoyed the STEAM-based project-based learning. So this is a concept of a project. This pilot project shows the students. Every student can acquire the basic knowledge in the textbook very efficiently using EdTech, while the saved time can be made for used for research and the project-based learning. So and at the same time, our pilot project launched STEAM library. This is an online library of digital contents for students and the teachers to start STEAM-based learning. This STEAM library provides many of the real social issues, and the real social issue can be a textbook, introductory text materials for students and teachers to start STEAM-based learning. This is a STEAM library. This is a STEAM library. This is a library, a digital library for students and teachers to start STEAM education, project-based learning. Our message we hope many students and teachers use this digital library to start their project-based learning. In Japan, in Japanese school scenes, it is we don't have much opportunities to experience project-based learning using the real social issues. Actually, when I was a student in high school and junior high school, it was very, very boring for me to study science and math because I felt science and math was nothing to do with my life. But after becoming a bureaucrat, policymakers, I faced many real social issues. And I felt really important to study basic science and math to understand the essence of the social issues. And if I make a really efficient policy to tackle with such real social issues in front of me, I felt the importance of understanding the very basic science and math knowledges. So I hope that using this STEAM library, many junior high school and high school students as a future change agent feel the necessity of getting knowledge, acquiring a very basic scientific knowledge and skills. So we have launched, thanks to Tanaka-san today. Later, he will introduce the STEAM library more in detail. So in order to disseminate the Learning Innovation Project, pilot project, we also have launched a subsidy program, the government subsidy program, EdTech introduction subsidies. This project has started from 2 years ago. And more than 7,000 schools in all over Japan uses this subsidy and start to use EdTechs, various kind of EdTech. Including Fukuhara-san's iGrow and some other very cutting-edge technologies. So today we have two leaders from Japanese EdTech scenes: the Fukuhara-san's IGES, Institutions for Global Society, and Tanaka-san's Studybari from Studybari. So let me start the two presentations from wonderful guests, Mr. Fukuhara-san and Tanaka-san.
Asano-san, thank you very much for great presentations about METI's initiative. So here so let me maybe introduce myself. I'm Masa, CEO at Institution for Global Society, IGES. IGES has just completed IPO as EdTech firm at the end of the last year. So indeed, our business is just centered around on the assessment and the training of non-cognitive skills. Some people say just competencies or soft skills and the management of a blockchain platform in education for the link between schools and companies. I'm going to explain this part later. But I would like to thank the METI for having this opportunity to talk here at South by Southwest. And I'm so excited to be talking about our initiative we have been creating with METI for adaptive learning and the STEAM contents. And further, I would like to discuss future collaborations just with the audience here.
Thank you, Fukuhara-san. Hello, I'm Yuki, CEO at Studybari. We just founded in 2020, so it's been 2 years working in the education industry, and we are the startup, and I'm ambitious to do the IPO like Fukuhara-san in the future. And before I founded the company, I was responsible for venture investment in the Bari and the South, so I hope that my English is not that poor. But today, my voice is not that clear because I got the fever of 38.6 degree. I haven't got the PCR inspection yet, so I'm not very sure if it's Omicron variant or not. But I got Delta variant, vaccinated twice, and then now I'm having 38.6 degree. So, but thanks to the technology and the internet, it's easy to communicate, and even I being able to, participate in these sessions. And, technology is also helping in the education industry a lot, especially, in the school scene. Without technology, teachers will not be able to absent from the school. So, leveraging the data and the internet, we can do and help the teachers a lot. One is probably the adaptive learning topic. So, Fukuhara-san, do you have any thoughts on the adaptive learning?
Yeah, so for just adaptive learning, so just our large challenge in just creating just adaptive learning is to just create data. So data is creating the basis for developing artificial intelligence, in other words, machine learning models, that would provide with the right contents to the right learner. So based upon some data. For cognitive capabilities, so indeed, for cognitive capabilities, historically, we have used the exam for assessing each person's cognitive capabilities. And further, as Asano-san shared, thanks to Kubina, helped by METI, they have created tons of data around cognitive capabilities. It means it's a basis for adaptive learning in cognitive capabilities. So it's a large change. It's clear due to the great initiative by METI. But another challenge clear is still left. This is non-cognitive capabilities. How to judge, assess non-cognitive capabilities such as creativity, problem setting skills, or global mindset. So indeed, for corporate side, they have used 360 degrees evaluations. However, how can we use 360 evaluations in the school context? So then we created artificial intelligence for reducing the bias of assessment by students for more accurate and effective non-cognitive capabilities, by using our latest technology. Due to this, we have now accumulated the data. We call this as iGrow, artificial intelligence grow. This is an assessment tool by smartphones. And also, as Asano-san pointed out, thanks to the subsidies by METI, many public schools could easily adopt this latest technology. And further, also as Asano-san explained, due to the recent change of Japanese curriculum for the fourth industrial revolutions, non-cognitive capability is the core of this whole syllabus. So then this iGrow could be used for this purpose. And further, since our business also holds this 360 evaluations for the companies, so then we could use this career data for more than 740,000 people's data. So what type of non-cognitive capabilities each job has, then just, we could just bring this back to the school just in context. And that's, this is kind of the latest just, phenomenon, just to link between companies and schools in cognitive, just, non-cognitive capabilities. This is what just we are working with METI. And also just let me just briefly just explain just the just case study in Mie Prefecture with METI. So Mie Prefecture is the west part of Japan. So then just we have just provided just with just STEAM simulation-based learning 1-year online program. So in this this context, we could just create this with METI. At first, I still just remember almost 3 years ago, I just talked with Asano-san. Asano-san just mentioned, oh, from now on, mobility as a service would be the most just one of the important just industry for the future. So why not just teaching lithium-ion just batteries? But just because it is out of the just Japanese curriculums, and the further just for just teaching mobility as a service, we also just need we have to just teach optimization technique in math, and the further just we have to also just teach matrix for having students understand just the data just analysis. So then just though just beyond that just mixed curriculum, METI and we work together also with some just companies like Nissan and also other just large Japanese companies. We have just created this 1-year simulation program, but also just we just also worked with University of Tokyo for just assessing whether this simulation just based program is effective from just academic perspective. And also just we just have also used just adaptive learning for this just content. Then just University of Tokyo just professors have just found out clear statistical evidence for just for the usefulness of this 1-year simulation program for just mobility as a service and entrepreneurship just creation just program. So and that's just clear just with statistical evidence, and the further this just finding is now just in one of the most famous EdTech journals. And that's just if you are interested, we want to just share this with just in this audience. So that's for just my part. So maybe just Tanaka-san, do you want to just add something, or just because just this program is just clear just inspired by Asano-san's future just education. So Asano-san, do you have any just comments?
Thank you very much. It was very exciting project. I remember from the first day. So did you what actually it's very happy if you could give us how much changed how much changed in the student's mind and the student's attitude of for learning.
Yeah. So
in this case.
Yeah, Chris, as Asano-san just pointed out just in the previous just speech. So because just to be honest, before this program, students couldn't connect between math, science, and real social problems. Because some of just you just might know just Mie Prefecture is very famous for just a car industry. Because now just car industry just is facing the just next challenge from just GAFA for just they're just take that just software platform for just mobility as a service. But so they know they want to just solve this problem, but they couldn't know just how to make it. But due to this, just METI's just support and also just this just 1-year program, students could understand. Oh, we have to learn math. We have to just learn just science, lithium, just ion for just for their future.
Yeah, I remember that most of the students were from technological high school or commercial business high school. So actually, not so many students were scored the high score. Most of them are not the high school students in the context of test. But yeah, actually, I was very surprised to see that many students were excited to learn math and the sciences. So, what do you think was the trigger to change the motivation.
So at first, just when just create just a trigger, just easy, just finally, just they could get just a tablet, or just one tablet for one just students, so they can just use tablet. As some pointed out, these students, to be honest, for their parents, just economic conditions, to be honest, not so great. But that's just each student can't just buy just tablet for a student. Also just schools just also can't buy it. Since they have just this tablet, and also just it's a kind of simulation game for becoming a mass entrepreneur. So I think just it's playfulness, is the key for this success.
Yeah, that was very important keyword, the playfulness.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, in most of the school scene, the keyword game or playfulness is far from actually a standard in then moderate high school and the junior high schools, but it was very important keyword for stimulating students motivation.
I think just game preference just always key, because all these students are just from just any just economic backgrounds. They're just basically they want to just be just or just always just excited about new things.
Excitement, yes, it's very important keyword.
Yeah, I think so.
How about Tanaka-san? Do you have any question to Masa?
Yeah, when I was a high school student, there's no such keyword like STEAM or math or any technological keywords, and my teacher always asked me to study hard and get higher scores in the entrance examination and so on. So I cannot imagine, how the children will grow with such STEAM and other technological stuff. And in next 20 years, probably, the children will grow faster than us, and probably they will call us, they are old generation and so on. So I can imagine the future, but it's very interesting to hear teaching the STEAM in the school.
Thank you. And I remember the highlights of the Fukuhara-san's project. Was another side of the highlight was the Fukuhara-san's project connected many schools in the same prefecture. The connecting not only a technological high school but also a commercial high school and an ordinary liberal arts high schools as well, and many students and many teachers and others and other experts outside of the schools. For example, from automobile industries, digital industries, and so on. Many experts and many students, various kind of students and the teachers get together and then making some project realized and communicate. And also IGRO evaluated how much changed it, how much students and the teachers changed. So this project was gave us a lot of inspiration using the digital technologies and using data, and how much and the value of digitalization.
Yeah, so I think it's you're criticizing the way of evangelizing latest education is just because just policy from just METI. At first, it's in the first year, just METI and just we decided to create. It's a kind of prototype of using two just schools, just one just for just the concentration of just on commercializations, and the one just for technology. So then just many teachers in this area just came to these schools to just watch how just it goes. So then after that, just METI created subsidies for other schools. Why not just using just the contents we have created as just a future classroom? Just this is policy mix would be the key for just enlarging just in this area.
Yeah, the interesting part is that the Fukuhara-san's company is taking place in this kind of STEAM project in the public school. And, in the past, we couldn't imagine, in the school teachers are teaching the STEM topics because, they are mainly focusing on the entrance exam. And, indeed, there's two big education market in Japan, which is slightly different from the other markets. So let me explain the market difference. So in Japan, there's a market called the public sector, which is mainly talking about the schools. And another one is private sector market, which is relatively big, and they are for preparing for the entrance exam. And let me talk about the GIGA initiative because it's very important to talk about how the iPad and other PCs are distributed in the public school. In the past, there's no such PCs. We had to go to the PC room and sharing the one PC and did nothing. Just watching the pictures and so on. So let's move on to the GIGA School Initiative.
Thank you, Tanaka-san. Please let them know what the STEAM library is.
Yeah, so let me explain the STEAM library. So this project was initiated in 2020, which is the founding year of our company. And on the STEAM library, there are so many Japanese large enterprise to small companies which are providing interesting STEAM content without no need to go to the library. So the student can easily access to this online platform and they can access to the well-established STEAM content from the GIGA initiative school PCs and tablet like the iPad. So we are still developing this library for this year, and it will be released in the next week, but this is still growing, and ecosystem is expanding, and this year more than 80 contents will be added newly, and almost all the contents are very interesting. So Asano-san, can you briefly dive into what are the contents stored in the STEAM library?
Actually, from this year, in the school high school curriculum, students will start project-based learning. For that curriculum, METI started to build an online library called the STEAM Library, which provides STEAM education contents, as I said. And various groups of corporate, top research institutes, universities, and NGOs provides many programs in this website. That, for example, Britannica Japan creates learning materials and contents of the various cutting-edge science research topics in collaboration with the, for example, the University of Tokyo, Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, and other top research institutes in Japan. Videos and lesson plans in 2 languages, English and Japanese, are available, while covering scientific research topics such as alt-drive technologies and activated sludge, care robots, and hydrogen, and so on. Children are encouraged to enter the interdisciplinary learning. And here's another example, like Crossfields, which is very famous Japanese NGOs, creates unique contents. The topics they provide is what is poverty and affluence. There are several interviews, videos of people living in rural Cambodia and in Africa and some of the developing countries. And the videos of real landscape will provide the reality of the such a different society, quite different society from Japan. All contents are related to SDGs, some SDGs. And SDGs, children can be engaged in a deep and exploratory learning with the real programs at the entrance.
Yeah, it's good to see that there are so many contents on the library. Poverty and France is never discussed in the Japanese school regime, but with these STEAM contents, we can easily run what happens in those countries. And currently we have more than 70 contents, and from the next month, as I said, we are going to add more than 80 contents for the STEAM educations. Also, METI and we Studybari have kept developing the libraries to improve UI and UX. Of course, it's important to attract the students, but also there are so many worksheets and materials for the teachers, so teachers can also get some information about the STEAM education from that library. Clarison, do you have any work on that STEAM topics or any activities?
Just the summary, of what Asano-san and I talked about in the past. The contents, how our STEAM contents could provide with the students. At first, by computer-based, project-based learning, even in COVID-19, they could increase non-cognitive capabilities for for the readiness for the fourth industrial revolutions by learning smart cities and mobility as a service. But also at the same time, they could learn programming, math, economics, and others. So backed by METI and makes initiative one pitch tablets to one student.
That's great. We are also providing PBR online products called TimeTact and Studybari outside the STEAM library, which connects the school scene and classroom to the society. The problem of the running PBR at school is that they are struggling to find identical problems and resources which describe the real-world issues. The STEAM library is a great example of door opener, as Asano said. But still, they are trying to find a way to continue the learning process. To cover the program, TimeTact supports PBL with a real-world program. For example, this is the case one, but the cryptocurrency exchange company provides the series of courses that explain what is blockchain. Even adults doesn't know what is blockchain, but not just saying, hey, blockchain is risky and you shouldn't have the cryptocurrency to the students. Instead, our approach is to let students understand what is the blockchain and cryptocurrencies are, and then evaluate the risk by students themselves. The interesting part of this project is that students were not only analyzing the risk, but they also started investigating how they can use Bitcoin for the payment during the school festival, for example. There are various types of program for using the Bitcoin, but students started to set the program by themselves and then deeply investigated what they need to solve to use the Bitcoin in the festival. Another example is that at the Fukushima prefecture, students are creating their local hazard map, which locates which part of their town are under the disaster risks, such as heavy rain and earthquake. Although such hazard map is published by the local government itself, students leveraged their scientific knowledge, like STEAM, to analyze the potential risk of their own town and created an original hazard map by themselves from the scientific perspective. Of course, there are a lack of analysis on the map. With the product, TimeTact, students could get feedback from the subject matter expert from the university and society, and they can run the PDCA cycle by themselves by getting advices from the experts. The reason we are providing such PBR product is that, as Fukuhara-san and Asano-san said, for the latter of the 21st century, as all of you are aware, we need to focus on why does each of the students need to study and learn so hard. So in this fast-changing era, though learning things is still important, but why and how they study is getting more important, I believe. And that is why we are providing various topics in the STEAM library and TimeTact. What do you think about these topics, Masahiro-san?
So I think so clearly focus on why it's just so critical because especially because just before the fourth industrial revolutions. So I think in the world we know what is the answer. So, but now just, more just VUCA, just more just volatile, uncertain, just, it's due to just more complex just world, just, students and further just we ourselves have to find our solutions together, collaborated. So then just, of course, just, for just this purpose, just project-based learning would be the key, and the further non-cognitive capabilities would be the key as well.
Thanks. Is there any interesting the project to expand the this kind of STEAM education? I have heard of some project working with the METI and Masahiro-san's company. So can you briefly explain the Ongashi project, which is also related to the blockchain?
Yeah. So let me just explain. Yeah. So or just create one challenge for the future. So now just due to just a great initiative by METI, we just have budget for supporting this latest education. However, of course, it's always there's a ceiling in budget. So how can we just offer this great education for all? Just so this is what just now just together with METI, we are now challenging ourselves to make a sustainable education for the Web 3.0, in which just government, companies, school citizens, and the further just EdTech ventures. So of course, just Tanaka-san's just companies are just working, collaborating on the blockchain just platform. We call it Ongaeshi. So it's a kind of just return back to just to those who just supported their just growth. The platform just provides just all students access to well-qualified STEAM education, like just STEAM just libraries. So just provide just selected advertisement for students. Just in this just model, just clear just companies provide selected advertisements for students and their supporters while just ensuring strict individual just data protections. Because just it offers great collaborations, perspectives, and reduces inequalities, because just companies can provide with money just for supporting this latest education by using this blockchain just platform. Why? Because each individual could just put more data for companies or just advertisement, and just companies could make more accurate advertisement. Though just by using the latest technology, just Web 3.0, each individual's data protection can be just kept. So then, with more just accurate advertisement, since the companies can make just more just accurate just advertisement, they just could just give just more just tokens, more money for just this type of just education. And that's for those who just watching this advertisement could get tokens for just purchasing their children for just the latest STEAM just contents. So clearly, this is the latest challenge. Of course, we have just tons of just challenges in just in front of us. However, just in the long run, not only from just government support, but also company support, which must be just critical for just sustainable just education, sustainable society.
Wow, that's very fabulous, and it's probably a little bit difficult for the especially teachers to understand what is going on here. But this is the platform, and the other players outside Japan can easily onboarding on this the platform as well. So do you have any ideas, or are you looking for any partners in the global?
Yeah, so let me just explain this, because clearly just the reason why I just come here for talking. Clearly, of course, one just is just how just Japanese society, Japanese government and private sectors have worked together for just much better education for all. But at the same time, we are looking for just global partners from the audience. So let me just summarize what just we can do with you. So as I mentioned, our just IGES could measure cognitive capabilities more accurately with AI, bias-free 360 feedbacks, and hidden personality traits. But also, as I mentioned, 1 year just mass, just 1 year simulation program for just nurturing creativity, as well as just programming skills, and the further lithium-ion batteries knowledge, and the further math capabilities. And that's why not just using such a great simulations made by collaborations from the Japanese government and IGES. So and the further finally for Ongash project, we would like to expand this Ongash platform to the rest of the world. So if you are interested, we'd love to work with you. So and that's clear. This Ongash project, I is we just have started a first baby step. So if we could collaborate with the companies, schools, and so on, we could provide with better education, STEAM education for the fourth industrial revolutions by the support by the government, companies, and the students. This is so we love to work with you. Please contact us.
Yeah, the contact is sales@grow360.com. So please email to Fukuhara-san for any inquiries. So in summary, so the EdTech scene is drastically changing, and the Japanese market has lots of potential and room for the startups, not only in Japan, but also outside Japan. The key point of expanding EdTech business outside its origin country is to find the right partners in each market, I believe. And hence, there are lots of potentials for all of the world's startups jumping on this huge Japanese educational market by working closely with us, or EdTech startups in Japan. Also, there's lots of unique initiatives launched by the Japanese government and well-established products examined in the Japan market. So we Japanese EdTech companies are ready to go outside Japan and ready for welcoming EdTech startups from the world. Let's build a great EdTech ecosystem together, and our effort will be fruitful for the next 20 to 30 years.
So as Yuki-san said, Japanese EdTech market is expanding due to the GIGA School project and also the influence of COVID. We are expecting Japanese EdTech venture grow drastically, and I hope the international audience keep your eyes on the innovator, including 10 wonderful startups who joined this year's South by sessions.